Hi everyone, it's Tara Savage with Fashion Fastlane, and today I'm going to talk about your competition and what that means to you as a startup brand or a person that's trying to start their own brand or product. Okay, so here we go. My name is Tara, like I said, and I have 20 years of experience in the fashion industry from design, product development, and production. So if you're starting up a new brand, you probably already have a good idea of who your competitors are. I recommend that you spend at least 6 months getting to know the industry that you're trying to get into and trying to find out about your competition. So today I'm going to give you some tips about how do you go about doing that, because if you haven't done it before, it's a little daunting. So basically, large companies have millions of dollars to spend on market research. They have a whole team in their corporate offices devoted to research and development. They also subscribe to these online publications that are put out by these big marketing research companies for like $50,000. You can subscribe to a publication that has all this data about your industry. So big companies can afford to do that. But as a startup company, you really don't have the luxury of spending thousands of dollars on these publications. Other big companies, they also do things like hire companies that do focus groups. I had a girlfriend here in San Diego that she worked for a really big focus group company, and they did focus groups for the beverage industry. For example, if Pepsi was going to come out with a new beverage, they would hire her company for like $100,000 to do focus groups on the new beverage to get feedback from customers about the taste, the quality, blah, blah, blah. So it's out there. It's really useful stuff that's available. But as a startup company, you don't have the luxury, you don't have the budget for that type of level of research. So what can you do as a startup brand to help yourself and learn about the industry yourself? So here's a few things that you can learn, that you can do on your own to learn more about your competition. They're very useful things, and they're very feasible. You can definitely do these things. Shop the competition. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean going to the store and looking at the widgets that your competition is coming up with. So if you're a fashion brand and you want to design a new pair of yoga pants for women, yeah, you can go to the other yoga stores and look at their yoga pants, but it's more than that. It's going to every type of retail outlet. It's going there and looking at what they're putting out there and buying samples. We recommend that you buy samples from your competitors so that you can bring them back to your office and go over them, see what they're putting out there, review the quality. In the fashion industry, it's very common for brands to go shop other brands at the same stores or different stores and buy samples. That's very common. It's one way that you can analyze the products that are already out in the field, that are already out in the marketplace. Also, research online. This one's kind of a no-brainer, and you're probably like, oh, why is she bringing that up? We already do that. It's more than just doing a Google search on the brand, on what you want to look for. So say you're trying to launch like a yoga line. Yeah, okay, hot yoga brands or top yoga brands, and you'll get like Lululemon and all these other brands. There's more to it than that. This online research if you go deep enough, you're going to find all the publications in the industry. So every industry, whether it's, baby food or yoga clothes or men's suits or heavy equipment, every industry has online publications devoted to their industry. So these online publications you can subscribe to for free usually, and then you can get all the updated news about the industry sent directly to your inbox. That's really awesome. It's a great way to keep up on the latest trends in the industry that you're trying to break into. Every industry also has trade publications that you can subscribe to. I definitely recommend subscribing to those as well. There's paper copies, there's online copies that they make, and they're once a month publications, and they send it to you. A lot of, like for the fashion industry, we have Women's Wear Daily. Like 20 years ago when I started out in the fashion industry, it was a print magazine that came out like once a month, or was it once a week? I forgot. There's so many, but now it's mostly online, and the subscription's like $200 a month if I'm not mistaken. But that type of publication is really invaluable. You can learn a lot about what's going on in the industry. Also, like when I was in the footwear industry, we had Footwear News. I think it's still out there, but every month we would get the Footwear News magazine. It talked about everything from who's Nike's new CEO to what company was filing bankruptcy, what company just got bought out from this other company, and what the latest footwear trends were, the material, the styles of shoes. Everything you need to know about the footwear industry was in this magazine. So you definitely should invest a little bit of money in these publications, and it's a business write-off, so go for it. The biggest thing that I would recommend that you can do for yourself if you're doing research is attend an industry trade show. That's so important. Where else are you going to find 100 vendors or 100 companies all under one roof for 3 days in one place? It's so awesome. So, you have to look up the trade shows. Usually they're in Vegas like twice a year. A lot of companies also have trade shows in New York City. This is a kind of an investment of time and money, but I definitely recommend that you attend these trade shows, because you're going to be able to walk through the booths of all these different brands and see what's going on. What are they selling? What is their new products? What did they just invent? You can meet people. It's a little tricky if you're a startup company. I mean, obviously you're not going to go into their booth and say, "Hi, my name is Tara and I'm starting up a company that's a competitor of yours. Can I ask you questions?" So, usually you can just go in, pretend you're like a buyer, like everyone else, and just kind of like, look at their products, and maybe take their business card or some literature if they're giving out some information about their company, and then bring that home with you. And you can write that off as a business expense. Obviously, you're doing research, and you can go to Vegas for 3 days, have fun at the same time. It's definitely worth your time. Try to network in your city. If you live near a city, I would definitely try to network if there's any industry events that are local for you to attend. You can find this out through Google search. You can go to meetup.com. You can go to other different platforms for networking. If you live in the country and you really don't have a big city nearby, I would also recommend LinkedIn. You can start adding people on LinkedIn that are in the industry that you're going into. There's also different groups on LinkedIn that are related to your industry. You're going to have to spend a couple hours on LinkedIn just looking around, but you'll find what you're looking for. You just have to spend the time to do it. And it's totally worth it, because you can add contacts on LinkedIn that you can later go back to and try to get to know them, maybe ask them questions or have a cup of coffee with them and ask them questions. Once you compile all this data over the 6 months period, you're going to see what the competitors are doing. You're going to see what with the product I'm making, that I'm designing, what can I bring to the marketplace? What are the holes in the marketplace that my company can fulfill those needs? Because what am I trying to say? So usually when you have a new product, you're trying to fulfill a need or a want that's out there in the marketplace. By doing the market research, you're going to see, do people even need what I'm trying to design here? Is there a need for this item in the marketplace? Is there a need for this to even be on the shelves? Would people even want to buy this item? So that's why it's so important to get to know your competition, because you can see what's selling out there, what's working for them, and then you can position your product offering around that and find the niche that you can go for. So this research will give you insight into what's out there, and I hope that it's useful for you. If I had to give you the top 3 things that I recommend you do for market research, I would say number 1 is go to those trade shows. You're never going to find everybody under one roof unless you go to a trade show. It's so awesome. You're going to get so much information. Number 2, subscribe to the current relevant trade publications. Not everything out there is going to be relevant, but the top 5 trade publications for that industry. Subscribe to their emails. If it's a paid subscription, subscribe. Spend $200 and subscribe. Also, try to network online if possible, and if possible in person. So I hope this information was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you have any questions, you can go to my website. It's tarasavage.com, and you can try to reach me there. Thank you, and have a great day.